Hello and welcome back. It is the end of this week's episode of 2 Hours. Thank you again for joining me. If you can't hear, Bruno is snoring, so that is my cue to call off the show for the night. I want to say thank you so much to Chris for picking out such great music. It was such a pleasure to see what he chose. And I thought I would do a little fun story for the end of tonight's show that I thought of the other day. It's a story of the time that I was in England and traveled with a friend all the way from London up to Manchester just to specifically see the New Order art show called True Faith. It was part of the Manchester Art Festival. I just happened to be visiting when it was on, so we were like, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just hop on the train and go up there. And we did, and the show was excellent. It was art from Peter Saville and art from the band and lyrics and photos and, things from Ian Curtis, even the original painting from the cover of Power, Corruption, and Lies. So it was a really cool show, and it was, worth the trip on its own. But while we were there, my friend mentioned that the L.S. Lowry Museum was there. I didn't know who that was. He actually described him for me by saying what one record store nerd would say to another record store nerd. It's the song by the Status Quo about Matchstick Men is about his paintings. I, of course, just immediately thought of how Teenage Fan Club talks about the status quo, but nerd worlds collide. So anyway, we went to the L.S. Lowry Museum. L.S. Lowry painted a lot of paintings of people, kind of like a Where's Waldo looking thing, just a ton of people in different scenes, usually sort of factory scenes, where the idea of Matchstick Men came from, because it was tons of folks. But anyway, we're in the museum admiring the paintings, and the lady who worked there came over, and somehow we got into chatting. Somehow we told her we met working at a record store, and she brought up the fact that her daughter was in a band. And I remember thinking when she was saying it at the time, like, oh no, they're probably terrible, because I don't know, it's what my mind works like. But I wrote down the name of the band. The band was called Lines, and I looked them up later, and lo and behold, they're actually awesome. So in the next set, we're going to have some New Order, we're going to have some Lines. I filled it in with some other groups from Manchester, but just thought I would tell you a little tale to end tonight's show and say thanks again for sticking with me. And I think if everything goes to plan, air conditioning now, I will see you next week. So please stay safe and stay sound.